Let's bring in Greg Valliere. He's the Chief US Policy Strategist at AGF Investments. And Greg, as you've been hearing us discuss throughout the show, now we've got sort of the official ceremony out of the way, but the real hard work begins for this Biden administration. There are a lot of challenges ahead. Of course, controlling the COVID crisis, but also the economic fallout from that. How are you looking at the legislative priorities for the Biden administration and their ability to be able to move forward on them?
Well, I think it's going to be complicated by still another big story, and that, of course, is the impeachment trial. I could make an argument. I get a lot of pushback, but I can make an argument that it doesn't make a lot of sense to go to impeachment. It could discombobulate the Biden agenda. It could distract him. It could make Trump a martyr. I mean, 73 million people voted for this guy, or 74 million. I think an impeachment trial could be twisted to his benefit. And finally, I don't think it's going to succeed. I don't think they're going to get 17 votes, although they may have picked up one or two after McConnell's comments yesterday. So you add it all up, so you've got an impeachment trial while you're trying to get your legislation off the ground. It's complicated.
Indeed, it is, Greg. And I know that Biden's inaugural speech today focused on unity, but it may be tough to find that unity in Congress with the Democrats having such a thin margin majority there in the Senate. We know that Mitch McConnell and, frankly, the rest of the lawmakers have to think ahead to 2022, right? And those midterm elections. I mean, how much are the Democrats really going to be able to pass those tax hikes, more spending by 2022?
Well, you make a good point, Alexis. I hate to be the skunk at the picnic. Today was a day of unity, and I thought Biden's speech was wonderful, but I think they had to be a little bit taken aback by the Janet Yellen testimony yesterday when the Republicans pushed back hard at the price tag, $1.9 trillion for the first of two or three big spending bills. And I think a lot of Republicans are going to resist. Maybe Biden can get 1.4 or 1.5. But to get all 1.9 would mean every single one of the Democrats would have to vote for it. And I'm not sure that's going to happen.
And Greg, as you're speaking, we're also just want to remind our viewers, we're looking at these live images coming out of Arlington National Cemetery with President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris now having laid that wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Greg, we were talking about the stimulus package, of course, but there's another key agenda that Joe Biden has made it very clear he's going to be aggressive on, and that's the issue of climate change. In the executive orders, we are expecting the U.S. to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. We were just talking about the Keystone XL pipeline, that permit being canceled as well. How do you see this moving forward? For long, we've seen many Republican lawmakers resist with saying that this is simply not the right time to address it when the economy is in such a downturn as it is. How do you think that argument holds up?
I think people will be surprised over the next several weeks at how aggressive this administration will be on climate change. They have 6 or 7 top-notch people in the administration who will be working on that, starting with John Kerry, but there are many, many others. And I do think they will be aggressive. There is great antipathy in this administration for fossil fuels, for oil, coal, natural gas, and I think that it'll become clear. It's become clear to the Canadians today. It's going to become clear to others when he rejoins the Paris Climate Accord. But this is going to be a big, big priority for this administration.